Ayyo, how about next week got exam?
Hey guys, check this out.
ITTV, your home tutorial system. With more than 3,000 classroom video lessons and lab experiments, it makes learning easy.
That's pretty cool. With ITTV, now we can study anytime and anywhere.
Get your best study partner now at a special promotion. All major subjects are available at ittv.com.my.
I'm Prasad and you're joining us live for our wrap-up on Nomination Day. Things you should know so far. There are 222 parliamentary seats and 505 state legislative assembly seats that will be contested in GE13. But so far, the Election Commission hasn't confirmed the exact number of seats that will be contested. However, elections will not be held for the 71 Sarawak State Assembly seats. Nomination period today, which started at 9 p.m. and ended at 10. After the Election Commission closed the nomination period, they will now scrutinize each form from the election candidates. For the first time ever, there will not be a public objection period for any potential candidates to be removed. Also, this time we see the highest number of independent candidates, a large number of which are those from Pakatan and BN who will not field this election. The general election campaign, which lasts 15 days until midnight on May 4th, officially begins today with polling day on May 5th. Another development, DAP is expected to use its own logo following the last-minute assurance from the registrar societies that it has no objections despite not recognizing its party's leadership. The 13th general election is likely to see the most multi-cornered fights in recent history. Looks like everybody's throwing their hats into the ring. Let's take a look at some of the most notable multi-cornered fights this election. The Sulabalang State seat in Sabah will see a staggering 7-cornered fight in G13. BN's Jaunan Sambakong will be taking on PKR's Herani Mergrel and MUPP's Hasaman, with 4 other independent candidates. Padang Seraya will see a 5-cornered contest among incumbent Enko Balakrishnan taking on PKR's N. Surendran, MCA's Heng Sei Ki, Berjasas Hamidi Abu Hassan and Uthman Wawi. In Kajang, 6 candidates will be joining the fray. They are Lee Ban Seng from MCA, Lee Ching Che from PKR, Abdul Ismail from Berjasa and 3 other independent candidates. For the Batu parliamentary seat, we will see a 5-cornered contest with incumbent MP Ten Chua taking on Dominic Lau from Gerakan, Hashim Abdullah Karim and 2 independent candidates. Moving on, some interesting developments, one from Pasir Mas and the others involving independent candidates who've gotten themselves into some trouble. In Pasir Mas, the UMNO candidate Sheikh Johan Shepa did not file his nomination papers, giving way to Perkasa Chief Ibrahim Ali to contest in a one-on-one fight with PAS candidate Nik Abduh Nik Aziz, who is also the son of Kelantan Menteri Besar Nik Aziz. Going back to the topic of independent candidates, 2 DAP candidates, Janice Lim and Sim Tong Him, have gotten themselves in a sticky situation after they decided to run as independents in the Teratai and Kota Laksamana State Assembly seats respectively. DAP isn't happy and the pair will face the sack as the party has barred members from standing as independents. Sim, who's also already defending the Kota Melaka parliamentary seat under the DAP ticket, says he is contesting as an independent in Kota Laksamana State seat to save the party. Also, UMNO Wanita Deputy Chief Kamila Ibrahim is also standing as an independent for the Kuala Kangsar parliamentary seat. She has resigned from all party positions, with UMNO Deputy President Muhyiddin Yassin saying she has been sacked for the move. Now let's take a closer look at the Gelang Patah parliamentary seat in Johor. This is going to be one of the biggest fights this election, with 2 heavyweights, one Johor Menteri Besar Abdul Ghani Uthman facing DAP's veteran Lim Kit Siang. We'll be going to our reporter Sumisha Naidu in Gelang Patah for more.
In Gelang Patah, there was no mistaking it was nomination day. Residents turned out in the hundreds to support their parties. And DAP's fears their candidates would not be able to contest under the party's logo due to issues with the Registrar of Societies disappeared with the RO's announcement.
We are thankful that this has problem resolved. We are even more thankful to our PAS and the PKR comrades in arms for their readiness to come to our assistance. I think this episode tantalizingly creates a possibility, brings even closer the vision of all Malaysians, where we can have a party, we can represent all Malaysians regardless of race, religion, and we're like very much closer than what everybody would have expected before this rocket symbol crisis emerged.
PAS's Vice President Salahuddin Ayub said he was relieved. Salahuddin will be contesting in Nusa Antara as a state candidate.
Kita telah berkempen lebih daripada 1 tahun. Saya orang Johor dan saya langsung tak ada masalah untuk saya bertanding di sini.
The rest of the nomination day went smoothly with all candidates fielded as expected. There was one surprise though. This man submitted himself to be an independent before withdrawing his candidacy 15 minutes later and declaring his support for UMNO's Gelang Patah candidate, former Johor Menteri Besar Abdul Ghani. Ghani will be going up against DAP stalwart Lim Kit Siang, and it's expected to be quite the fight.
Dan merayu pengundi-pengundi yang ada di Gelang Patah yang seramai 100,000 lebih untuk menimbangkan saya sebagai calon dalam pilihan kali ini.
Johor State of BN Stronghold is set to see a critical clash between BN and Pakatan. Among all, Kluang sees a three-corner fight.
This morning in Kluang, 1,000 people gathered in front of the Pakatan Operations Centre. Interestingly, the Chinese supporters carried the PAS flag, while Malay supporters marched with the DAP rocket flag. MCA's Ho Kok Chung will contest against DAP State Youth Chief Tan Hong Pin and DAP incumbent Monkey Bowl State Assemblyman Ng Nam Hua, who will contest as an independent. Outside the Kluang Nomination Centre, 2 men were seen distributing free copies of Berita Harian among the Pakatan crowd. Pakatan supporters booed at them, throwing the free newspapers into a ditch by the roadside.
Let's take a look at Penang, the home to some seats of some top opposition leaders. CJ Lim files this report.
In Permatampau, PKR de facto leader Anwar Ibrahim was greeted by some 3,000 supporters outside the nomination centre. The 500-metre barricade between PKR and BN supporters did not stop the shouting match. It almost turned into a scuffle, if not for swift intervention by police. Anwar said the battle is mostly between Pakatan and BN, and the independent candidates will not be much of an impact. Meanwhile, in the Bukit Bendera nomination centre, BN supporters outnumbered the Pakatan supporters. Some 1,500 BN supporters swarmed outside the nomination centre. DAP Secretary General Lim Guan Eng, who is contesting the Ayer Putih state seat, arrived at 10:30 a.m. and was greeted by some 500 supporters. Guan Eng expressed his relief that DAP's rocket symbol has been accepted. He also thanked the Election Commission for today's smooth nomination process. Penang BN Chief Teng Chang Yao arrived at Sekolah Menengah Vocational Seberang Perai around 9 a.m. for the nomination. Teng will be facing off with PKR's Ong Chin Wen and independent candidate A. Mohan for the Batu Tengah state seat. Some 300 BN supporters greeted Teng outside the nomination centre. Almost all the Batu Kawan parliamentary seats will see a 3- and 4-corner fight.
Kini TV reporter Temili Tianmei station in Bentong Pahang gives us the update on first-time candidate Wong Tak. Let's take a look at an update on the anti-lioness activists and also the overall atmosphere during nomination day.
And Wong Tak's nominator here today was actually his standard 1 teacher from his primary school and his classmates. So that was interesting seeing his teacher. And he brought 2 letters with him, but of course, as you probably know by now, they're contesting under the DAP logo anyway. And they were in the nomination centre itself for around 2 hours. But Wong Tak said there were no problems, it just took that long. And the crowd was waiting outside for quite a while. And actually, at some point, we saw pink smoke go up in the air, but we couldn't really find out who caused that, because the smoke went up in between the supporters, Wong Tak supporters and the BN supporters outside the polling centre itself. So we only really saw, remnants of the pink smoke. Yeah, that was about it. Everything else went smoothly, and the Pahang Menteri Besar, of course, clarified and said that, he's what he said earlier about cutting off his ear and jumping into the Pahang River if Liao were to lose was just a matter of figurative speech.
Moving on, let's look at some of the big seats in Kuala Lumpur. Big shock today, Ong Tee Kiat will not be contesting the Pandan seat. Instead, it will be a 3-cornered fight between MCA's Gary Lim, PKR's Rafizi Ramli, and an independent called Alan Tan.
The Pandan parliamentary seat will see a three-corner fight with five-term MCA incumbent Ong Tee Kiat not contesting. Tee Kiat made an appearance at a nearby food court to address about 100 of his supporters, but the plot thickens. Alan Tan, the former aide for Tee Kiat, will be contesting as an independent. Alan is seen by many as a representative of Tee Kiat. This means MCA's Gary Lim will be taking on PKR's Rafizi Ramli and independent Alan Tan. Tee Kiat-linked candidate Alan Tan believes Ong's spirit of community service should continue. In Lembah Pantai, it's going to be a three-cornered fight between incumbent Nurul Izzah of PKR, BN's Raja Nongchik, who is also the former Federal Territories Minister, and independent candidate Rusli Baba. Supporters for Nurul started gathering at a petrol station close to the nomination centre at 7 a.m. On the other side of Sekolah Kebangsaan Bukit Bandaraya, BN supporters came out in droves to support their candidate. In 2008, Nurul narrowly took the seat from Datuk Shahrizad Abdul Jalil, who served Lembah Pantai for 3 terms.
And to make sense of all that happened today during nomination day, our reporter Sabrina spoke to political analyst Khoo Kay Peng.
There seems to be a lot of multi-corner fights in this coming general elections. Is this good or bad for democracy?
It's definitely good for democracy. People who are eligible and people who can qualify to participate in the electoral process should be given a chance.
But what about the number of independent candidates as sort of unhappy with their prior parties, like Janice Lee, Sim Tong Him, and should they actually stand as independents or should they toe the party line?
I don't think that the political process in Malaysia should just be confined to partisan politics. Like I said, I think individuals who think that they are capable, they can meet the demands of their constituents, they can serve their constituents, and they are qualified, they should be allowed to participate.
And what do you think of DAP and UMNO's stance to sack these independent candidates? Do you think it's too harsh?
No, I think it is definitely in line with the party constitution. Yeah, when the party has made a decision to place a certain candidate or to endorse a certain candidate to stand, candidates who are not chosen but still, want to defy party's instruction, I think, it's proper that they leave the party. I think this is part of the deal. I mean, that's why there are rules within the party. On that side, I can accept.
And back to the first question, you said that having multi-corner fights is good for democracy. Do you have any comments on whether these multi-corner fights are sort of detracting from the main candidates, or is it just really fair game for all?
I don't think that it is fair to say that there are main candidates in any constituencies. I think what we should focus on is the quality of the candidate. So if the candidate thinks that he or she has the quality, he can serve the constituents well enough, and he is acceptable and receive the support of the constituents, then he can. I mean, he should participate in the entire election process. Like I said, talking about main candidates, we should not just focus on candidates coming from the two main coalitions. If let's say, if you're using the basis that because there are two main, one is incumbent and the other one is the main opposition, and other people are going to come in, and take away some of the votes, and hence it is not democratic. And then by saying that, it is still going against democracy. That democracy means you must allow a person who can meet the requirement and would like to contest. So at the end of the day, democracy is only being impeached or subjugated when voters are not allowed to vote freely.
Okay.
If voters are allowed their choice freely, that is democracy.
And just moving on, there seems to be a lot of unhappiness coming from the nomination process, with lots of changes from BN side and PR. Do you have any comments on this?
Well, I think definitely there'll be horse trading. I mean, you have both coalitions almost of equal strength. A lot of candidates know that there's a high possibility for them to be able to win. So when the possibility is there, of course, it would attract a lot of people who want to be candidates. It used to be the case for Barisan Nasional. A lot of people want to stand as Barisan Nasional candidates. But since the 2008, there is definitely another side to it where Pakatan candidates have been quite successful in the electoral process. And naturally, now you see that on both sides, there are a lot of people who want to be candidates.
And moving on to some hot seats, what's your pick of hot seats?
I would say Gelang Patah will be a first choice. Lembah Pantai will be definitely quite exciting. You have the Segamat seat, the Temerloh seat. Putrajaya will be quite interesting for the first time, and a number of definitely a number of other seats. And I think my take, I think Kelong will be exciting as well. Kulai will be exciting.
Okay. And any particular candidates we should be looking out for?
I think there are a number of them, but I think the most significant of all would be the one in Gelang Patah. It's not just about individual. It's, I think, for the first time, top leadership, top personalities between the parties are clashing head-on after a number of years. I think, traditionally, DAP top guns have avoided UMNO top guns. This is one of the first elections. You find the top personality from DAP and UMNO are going in on a straight fight. So that, I think, for me, is quite exciting.
If you're putting up top personalities against the other, someone's bound to lose. What are some of the repercussions for both sides if, after this election?
I think that, after this election, regardless of who wins or who loses, there will be personalities who will be contesting for the last time. I think more and more when this personality moves on, we will see that the politics, Malaysian politics, will take a different direction. It will be a lot more team-based. People will be looking at what the party can do as a whole, instead of looking at the appeal of one or two personalities. I think the personality-centric politics in Malaysia is perhaps running through its last mile. After this election, a number of personalities, I can safely say that will no longer be around. And these are very, very strong personalities.
And
that's our wrap-up for today. This concludes our live update for Nomination Day. And in the coming days, we'll bring you more updates and stories so you can do your part come May 5th. This is Prasad. Thanks for watching.